Welcome to Science Store online classes.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.
Dear students, welcome back to biology online classes. The chapter what we are discussing is about human health and disease for CET and NEET, one of the most important topic. Take out the worksheet. We are in the first worksheet and around 50 amounts of good questions we have completed. Let's move to the next question, that is question number 16. Antibodies present in the colostrum which protect the newborn from the certain disease is of which type? Different types of antibodies you have studied: IgA, IgD, IgE, IgG, IgM, but the antibodies which are present in the colostrum of the milk is antibodies IgA. Okay, that is option B. Next, question number 17. Tobacco consumption is known to stimulate secretion of adrenaline and noradrenaline. The component causing this could be A. Nicotine. A. Nicotine. Now, what do you mean by tannic acid? It is a specific form of tannins. It is a specific form of tannin. So, a type of polyphenol. Tannin is a type of polyphenol. And historically used as the antidote to soak up the poison. Okay, antidote is given against the poison. So used to stop bleeding and treat rashes, then prevent throat infections. That is about tannic acid. These are uses. Then curamin. It is not curamin, it is curamin. Curamin, it is nothing but it can be used as pain reducing tablets, and it is known by this brand name, that is curamin. Curamin is the brand name for the tablets which are used for pain relief. So that is curamin is the brand name for curcumin. Curcuma long, you heard, no? Haladi, turmeric. Okay. So this is the brand name, is sold in the form of tablets for pain relief. What is catechin? Catechin is a plant secondary metabolite. Catechin is a plant secondary metabolite. Plant secondary metabolite. And it is a type of natural phenol and antioxidant. Antioxidants are the substance which prevents the free radicals, negatively charged electrons present in our body, and protects the cells from any damage, or they will replace the damaged cells by the new one. And next question is question number 18. Antivenom against the snake poison contains. Antivenom against the snake poison contains what? Antigens or antigen antibody complexes, or antibodies, or enzymes. Antivenom against the snake poison, they contains antibodies. So antivenom, that is contains immunoglobulin, contains antibodies to treat the specific highly toxic bites or the stings. Okay. So this kind of treatment with the help of these antibodies, it is called as envenomation against the venom. It is called as envenomation. Envenomation. Envenomation means treatment with the help of antibodies against the venom or the poison. That is called as envenomation. Next question. Number 19. Which of the following is not a lymphoid tissue? Which is not a lymphoid tissue? See the option C, they have given appendix. You strike it off and make it as pancreas. Instead of appendix, you write there pancreas. Now, which of the following is not a lymphoid? Or tonsils, spleen, thymus, all are lymphoid tissue, but pancreas is a dual gland. It acts like both exocrine and endocrine glands, that is duct gland as well as the ductless glands. Now the lymphoid tissue has been divided into primary lymphoid organs and secondary lymphoid organ or tissue. The primary lymphoid tissue, it contains bone marrow and the thymus. Bone marrow is the region where the B cells and T cells produce, and the maturation of B cells takes place in the bone marrow itself, but the maturation of T lymphocytes takes place in the thymus. Then the secondary lymphoid tissue, it contains spleen, lymph nodes, then appendix, then the Peyer's patches of intestine. Okay, these are the secondary lymphoid organs. So tonsils, they are also secondary lymphoid organ. So in the given option, A, B and D are the lymphoid tissues, but C is not, that is pancreas. Let's move to question number 20. Which one of the following glands is large sized at birth but reduces in size with the aging? That is thymus gland. That is thymus gland. Pineal gland means thymus gland secretes a hormone that is called as thymosin. You studied, no? Then pineal gland, it secretes a hormone called as melatonin, which is responsible for the 24 hours sleep wake cycle, that is for maintaining the biological cycle. Pituitary is the master gland which controls the other endocrine glands. Thyroid is the gland which secretes the hormone thyroxine. Question number 21. Hemozoin is, what is hemozoin? I told in the previous session about the malarial cycle. So hemozoin is nothing but a toxin from the Plasmodium species. Toxin from the Plasmodium species called as hemozoin. Okay. Question number 22. One of the following. So when does this hemozoin is produced? The hemozoin is the chemical which is produced during the rupture of the RBCs associated with the release of the hemozoin, and that substance is responsible for recurring chills and fever in case of malaria during the bite of the female Anopheles mosquito which is carrying the infected Plasmodium. Next question number 22. One of the following is not the causal organism for ringworm. Identify. A. Microsporum. B. Trichophyton. C. Epidermophyton. D. Macrosporum. Which is not the causal organism for the ringworm? Ringworm infection you studied in the theory. It's caused by three different organisms, which is fungus, that is Microsporum, Trichophyton, Rubrum, Epidermophyton, but not the Macrosporum. So D is the incorrect. Is not the causing organisms. So D is the option. Next, question number 23. A person with the sickle cell anemia is less prone to malaria. Option C. Why he is less prone to malaria? What happens in the sickle cell anemia? The shape of the RBCs instead of becomes biconvex and disc shaped, it changes into the sickle shaped, so that the surface area gets decreased and of course oxygen carrying capacity of those RBCs will decrease only, but what happens is the malarial plasmodium, the germ, the parasite which cannot survive in the sickle cell RBCs. Okay. So sickle cell trait, it actually protects from the malaria. So malarial parasite is unable to penetrate the RBC membrane or the erythrocyte membrane as sickle hemoglobin, not normal hemoglobin, they are like sickle hemoglobin might get in the way of plasmodium parasite. Okay. While infecting the RBCs. So reducing the number of parasites that actively infect the host, thus conferring some protection against the particular disease, that is malaria. Next, question number 24. Damage to the thymus in a child may be lead to what? Loss of cell mediated immunity, because thymus is an example for primary lymphoid tissue, and the primary lymphoid tissue where the thymus maturation of T lymphocytes takes place, and T lymphocytes are responsible for the cell mediated immunity, and B lymphocytes are responsible for the humoral immunity or the antibody mediated immunity. Next, question number 25. If the person shows the production of interferons, we already discussed what are interferons in his body, chances are that he is suffering from measles, because interferons are produced by the body in response to attack by the virus, infection by the virus. So measles is caused by measles virus. Bacillus anthracis is the causative agent for anthrax. Okay, and the person may show the bacterium in especially this anthrax, Kalubai roga, anthrax, Bacillus anthracis. This is the bacterium which causes what? Anthrax. Especially in case of cattle. So the cattle which are infected with this bacterium, they shed these germs, bacterium in their saliva. Okay. Malaria is caused by, of course, Plasmodium. Tetanus is by Clostridium tetani. Tetanus by Clostridium tetani. Next, question number 26. A person is suffering from frequent episodes of nasal discharge, nasal congestion, reddening of the eyes, and watery eyes. These are the symptoms of, yes, option C, that is rhinitis, symptoms of rhinitis. Now, this allergic rhinitis, also known as hay fever, allergic rhinitis. Also known as hay fever. So it is a type of inflammation in the nose which occurs when the immune system hypersensitized to the allergies which is present in the air. Signs and symptoms, it may include the discharge, nasal discharge, then congestion, nasal congestion, sneezing, red, itchy and watery eyes, and swelling around the eyes. So Allergic rhinitis, it's typically triggered by the environmental allergens such as maybe pollen, pet hair or dust, etc. So that is about allergic rhinitis. What is cyanosis? It is the blue skin. Cyanin is the blue pigment. Cyanosis is the blue skin due to cold exposure or wearing very tight clothes or jewelry. That is called as the cyanosis. Okay. Then bronchitis means inflammation of the bronchus, bronchioles. Bronchial carcinoma means lung cancer. And cigarette smoking is the root cause for this bronchial carcinoma. Let's move to question number 27, very important one. Match the types of immunity listed in column 1 with the examples listed in column 2. Choose the answer that gives the correct combination of alphabets of the two columns. Column 1, they have given the different kinds of immunity: natural, active, artificial, passive, artificial, active, natural, passive. In the column 2, they have given what kind of immunity it is. Natural active immunity means fighting infections naturally, A for S. Then artificial passive immunity means injection of anti-serum to the travelers. Then that is B for R. Then artificial active immunity means it is induced by the vaccination, C for T. And natural passive immunity means it is from mother to the fetus through the placenta, that is D for Q. So the right option is the option B. Now what is natural and active immunity? Fighting infections naturally. When a person is having the wound or fever with infections, the body has the ability to cure naturally the wound, to heal the wound or to overcome the infection, and the antibodies are produced will be in the blood naturally. So this immunity a person has from the birth, that is an example for innate immunity, natural and active immunity, natural and active immunity. Now what is for example, a person if having a chicken pox infection, it is said that if the infection has occurred once, then it will not come in the life next time. So because for a long time there were antibodies against this virus is produced and circulating in the blood. So that is the natural active immunity. Then artificial passive immunity. Artificial means passive immunity. After the onset of the disease, okay, the immunity has occurred, that is artificial passive immunity. Only for the short term. Artificial passive immunity means for example, if a disease is prevalent in particular this area, then for that time being some medicine is given or some say vaccination is given, just only for temporary. So artificial it is, okay. Or for example snake bite, so antivenom is injected. Once antivenom is injected, is it sufficient for the next time when the snake bites? No, right? So next time when the snake bites, once again the antivenom should be given, right? So that is artificial and passive. Artificial and active immunity is actual vaccination. It gives lifelong prevention against certain dreaded diseases like polio, then mumps, measles, rubella. So vaccination is one of the best example for what artificial and active immunity. Natural passive immunity only for short term. For example, colostrum, which contains the antibodies which gives protection to the child for certain amount of time. So that is naturally the baby is obtaining from the milk of the mothers after the delivery of the baby for few days. That is called as colostrum, which is rich in the antibodies IgA. Next, we will move to question number 28. Which of the following is not a character of cancerous tissue in our body? They have the ability to metastasis, means whenever they go, they induce a new tumor. Inability to differentiation, that is also the character. Neoplasia is also the character, but not the contact inhibition. So, in the theory class, students, you have studied about the cancer. So, there are different properties for cancer. In our body, the cell growth and the cell differentiation is highly controlled and regulated, right? But in cancer cells, there is a breakdown of these regularity mechanisms. So, normal cells shows a property called as contact inhibition, by virtue of which contact with other cells inhibits their uncontrolled growth. But cancerous cells appear to have lost this particular property, that is of contact inhibition. So, as a result of this, cancerous cells just continue to divide, giving rise to a mass of cells called as the tumors. So, tumors may be of two types: benign tumors, which are normally remain confined to the original location and do not spread to other parts of the body and causes very little damage. On the other hand, the malignant tumors means they are mass of proliferating cells, and those are called as neoplastic or tumor cells. Okay, so these cells can grow rapidly and invading and also damaging the surrounding normal tissues. So, as these cells are actively divide and grow, they also starve the normal cells by competing for the vital nutrients. So, cells not from such tumors reach the distant sites. Wherever they get lodged in the body, they start formation of a new tumor over there. So, this property is called as metastasis, is most the feared property of the malignant tumors. So, they have the property, they lost the property of contact inhibition, cancerous cells. They are having the property of metastasis. They are also neoplastic, means have the ability to tumor inducing by the malignant tumors, which they can spread to the different bodies. And they also compete with the normal cells for the vital nutrients. Okay. So, these are some of the important properties what we studied among the cancer cells. So, this is also an important question. So, contact inhibition is the right answer, option C. Question number 29. Identify the site where Wuchereria bancrofti is normally found on human body. Where do you find Wuchereria bancrofti? Wuchereria bancrofti as well as the Wuchereria malai are the filarial worms caused a slowly developing chronic inflammation of the organs in which they live for many years. So, usually the lymphatic vessels of the lower limbs, and the disease is called as elephantiasis or filariasis. So, then the genital organs are also affected, resulting in the gross deformities. So, the pathogens are transmitted to a healthy person through the bite of a female Anopheles mosquito, that is called as Culex. Female filarial mosquito. Female filarial mosquito, that is called as Culex. So, that is how the Wuchereria bancrofti affects the human body. So, answer is the option A, lymphatic vessels of the lower limbs. Okay. So, you can see the lower limbs are swollen in such persons and making it very fat like the legs of elephant. So, it is also called as the elephantiasis or the filariasis. So, which are the causative agents? One is the Wuchereria bancrofti, another one is the Wuchereria malai, which is given in your NCERT. Next question number 30. Which one of the following is a hallucinogenic drug? A. Opium, B. Caffeine, C. Morphine, D. Lysergic acid diethylamide. LSD is also called as lysergic acid diethylamide, that is causes optical and auditory hallucinations. Hallucination means a perception of having seen, heard, touched, tasted, or smelled something that wasn't actually there. So, LSD causes optical and auditory hallucinations and induces behavioral abnormalities. It induces behavioral abnormalities. So caffeine is mainly present in the coffee seeds. It's a stimulant that temporarily stimulates the nervous system and makes us feeling happy and relieves the pain. Sometimes you ask with your mother to prepare coffee if you have headache, because it acts on the nervous system. It is a stimulant of nervous system, so you will get relieved by the pain caused by the headache. Then opium. So these are the opiate narcotics, nashile padarth, that suppress the brain activity and thereby relieving the pain. That is the opium. Okay. Next, question number 31. Infection of Ascaris usually occurs by drinking water containing eggs of Ascaris, B. Eating imperfectly cooked pork, C. Tsetse fly, D. Mosquito bite. Infection of Ascaris usually occurs by drinking water containing eggs of Ascaris. You know, the infection by Ascaris, it causes a disease called as Ascariasis, which is characterized by internal bleeding, muscular pain, fever, anemia and blockage of the intestinal passage. So the eggs of the parasite are excreted along with the feces of infected persons, which contaminate the soil as well as water and plants, etc. A healthy person acquires the infection through contaminated water or vegetables or fruits, etc. So A is the right option. So what are Tsetse fly? Tsetse fly, this causes a disease called as African sleeping sickness, and they are also commonly called as tick fly. What is called as tick fly? So they causes a African sleeping sickness that is called as trypanosomiasis. What is the disease they cause? Trypanosomiasis, and the causative agent is Trypanosoma brucei. Causative agent is Trypanosoma T genus brucei. Trypanosoma brucei. So this is the causative agent, trypanosomiasis, which is a parasite and which is carried by the tsetse fly or the tick fly, and it is mainly found in the African continent, prevalent in the African continent. Both male and female can cause this particular disease, that is African sleeping sickness. So students, with this we have completed around 31 questions from the topic human health and disease in today's session. So take down all the important points which I have written on the board, as well as take down my lecture notes, and we'll come with the other remaining questions and we'll discuss in the next session. And thank you students for watching the video.
Don't forget to like our video and subscribe our YouTube channel for all the updates.